Ba-ba. I'm trying to figure out if we are live. There we go. What's happening? Took it a quick minute here. Sorry, first time doing live with this setup. There we go. Good morning. And as expected, only two people in here. So I said I wasn't going to do lives on this channel. Um, but here I am. I thought I'd give Sunday mornings a go. This is usually my model time. And the wife was away, so I thought I'd come down here and do a quick live. So let me know if you're watching. Ba-ba. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Definitely probably will not leave it up though, especially if nobody watches it. Um, but it would be good to know how the audio is doing. So if you're out there and you've got some audio, let me know how it is. And I got a couple of cameras set up here so we can show some stuff on the desk and see if enough people get in here. Holy crap, it's Rudy. How you doing, Rudy? Thanks for tuning in, man. Is the audio all right? Audio is great on my end. Awesome. Awesome. Lord Nikon, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm actually using these I'm glad you made it too, buddy. I'm glad you made it too. I'm actually using these little DJI, I don't know why we all call them DJI mic minis that I used to record my videos with, and it plugs into my laptop. So it's much better than a laptop mic. And with Baggers, we had this USB mic that worked well, and I may go back to that too because that doesn't run a battery. Give me a kind of a limited amount of battery time, but I thought I'd do that. So got a few people in here. So now with 5 of you in here, what's up? I'm George. If you don't already know, probably if you are here, you do know because you're subscribed to the channel and you got the notification that I was going live. Um, like I said, wasn't really going to do lives on this channel. Rudy knows me from the other channel, from Baggers and Brews, and the motorcycle channel. We really did. Not only did we do some lives, man, we did some marathons, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun most of the time. We raised some money on lives. We did a lot of things with lives. Um, lives were a big part of us raising money for the Tunnel of Towers Foundation. And Bert and myself, I mentioned how we raised almost $25,000 for Tunnel of Towers, which was um, a feat in itself, man. Which was a feat in itself. So I came to this channel doing a lot of different types of things, different types of videos, obviously, trains and not motorcycles, and thought I'd maybe see what the lives have to offer in the model railroad community. There have been many live libations. Yes, Rudy, there were many live libations. There was some drunk Bert going on, but it is Sunday morning, and I have my Wawa coffee here. So cheers, cheers to Sunday morning. Uh, it's maybe if we do late lives here, Rudy, we could turn trains into a drinking game. That could maybe happen. Um, so yeah, so what's up? Just wanted to honestly check in, see if you guys are enjoying the channel. The channel has been uh, exceeding my expectations, obviously, so far to date. First videos went up at the end of February, so really March was the first month, and in like what 6, 7 months here, I'm hitting just at 2,400 subscribers. So I'll be 25 in another week or so. So that couldn't be more exciting. And uh, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to. And I know Bert is still having the libations and the lives. He did one 2 weeks ago, man. He was pretty wound up. So I think him and Carol and Ron, he's changed things up a little bit. He does some stuff upstairs now as well. Yep, yep. Looking good. Not bad. 5 people. That's about probably three more people than I expected. So I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And while we're just hanging out, let me see how the lighting is here. Now that I've got handfully in here. I have two camera in typical George fashion. I've got two cameras set up, and one of the things I did a video on last week. Well, let me see if you guys can see this. He says, "I'm on coffee, so to catch up some videos when he's coming." Um, I like your approach to the topic. So, yeah, man, winter is coming, and I gotta tell you, it's train model railroad season, as I call it, because especially when you live in the Northeast, or if you live someplace where the temperature changes, you know, you have that outdoor hobby, whether fishing, motorcycles, or just being outside. You don't want to burn one of those two precious days that you get off, if you get those days off, indeed, um, being cooped up inside. So I call this model railroad season, and it's interesting. One of the reasons why I started this channel out that I wasn't going to do live is because Sunday morning is really my model time. It's usually when I come down here and get into a bigger project that I've got looming. I took some time yesterday and got down here, did some things, set up for this live a little bit, and uh, it's very cool. Are you thinking about getting into the hobby again, Rudy? 'Cause you never know. I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's with you, and then it's not with you, and then it's with you, and then it's not with you. So if it's in you, it just kind of stays with you and it fades into your life. I find with most people. So I almost need a little bit better light here for this baby. This is a little Pennsylvania RS3, and one of the things that we on the last video was which direction do these babies run? Do they run long hood forward like this, or do they run short hood forward like this? Um, and the reality of it is, these in the Pennsylvania Railroad, they are annotated with this little F that you can almost see right there by the handrail. Kind of hard to see. It's like right there in front of the handrail. And and actually, if I can probably make this better, if I just do this, there, there you can see the F right there. Get a X-Acto knife right there. And So these ran a long hood forward. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Rudy said, once my son moves out, yeah, listen, you know me, I'm not that old. And the eyes are not what they used to be when I got into N scale. So I am not only do I struggle to see the numbers on the locomotive sometimes, but I struggle to see the car numbers as well. Uh, as far as size goes, I've been doing stuff with tweezers for years because with N scale, I used to working with tweezers. But I would say if even with the steady hands, man, you can get into something like 0130 and you can have a small layout and you're dealing with basically no scale on HO track. Very, very cool. Um, great, great scale you know, for people as they get older. And I think that's probably why a lot of dudes model 0130. And if you watch Model Railroader at all, David Pop, he has really, really shaky hands, especially like as he's gotten older. And he was one of probably the most notable end scalers in the hobby. Um, and he has gone his layout now. They started an 0130 layout a while back, but it's really an amazing layout that they're doing in sections. Probably on close to the final section now, I think, but it's yeah, it's on Model Railroader Video Plus if you see it there. And again, you don't need a ton of space, man. Spare bedroom. I'm blessed to have a big basement. When Rona came, I just basically came down here and commandeered half of it and started building bench work. And in 2020, I guess that was. And I've been working on it ever since. But that being said, my next layout is definitely going to be HO. There is no doubt in my mind the next layout's going to be HO, just because of things like you know things like working with these couplers, man. You've got to work with these couplers. These couplers are tiny, especially the body mounted ones you can see here. If that's in focus or not, there it is. They are they are pretty tiny. They are hard to deal with. If you're catching up on videos, this is the Pennsylvania Railroad boxcar that I modeled, and well, not that I modeled, but I weathered. Um, so pretty cool car. I dig it. Came out really good. But yeah, I did the full video on this as far as modeling goes, as far as weathering goes, soup to nuts. Which I don't know if I'll do another one of those videos. It was a lot. It's like 40 minutes. It takes me about an hour or so to put this much work into a car and record it. I can obviously do it much quicker if I am not recording. So, and then this week's video is coming out. I got some 3D prints. Check this baby out. So this is a 32 Ford from oh, this is a 32 Ford from um, Whistle Stop Models, Whistle Stop 3D printing. So really, really cool. Got the headlight bar, and it's on the 3D printed base here, and it's on got all the struts here. Oh, yeah, favorite part of the hobby is the weathering, rolling stock, and rolling operation with that. So yeah, I mean, I go through phases. I let trains run in circles often, especially if I'm sitting here at the desk modeling. I will let my trains run in circles. But if I am, I set the railroad up for operation because that adds some interest, and it's easier to do that ahead of time than it is to kind of back your way into that and design. But yeah, the weathering is my jam. I like the weathering. Um, I have this baby here slightly weathered, and a lesson learned. As you can see, this is engine 8705, right? Lesson learned. I weathered this baby a little too heavy on this back end here, and it's hard to read the numbers. So when I have it on the railroad, I always make sure that the side I can read is like facing out towards me, and the other side is facing in because it's a bear if you get some dust and then you seal it over these. If you get some weathering chalk over on top of these car numbers and these locomotive numbers, and then you seal it in, it's like you are sick, man. Cannot see. So that's still very. It's so many aspects to this hobby. People have no idea how much is involved in the hobby, whether it's building of models, weather, the track work. Yeah, it does. Definitely, the weathering brings things alive. It's makes things look less toy-like, really. Um, so, and I love those layouts where if you look at people like Jason Jensen, he's more about the model building than he is the train running. The trains happen just be yeah, uh, stuff that runs through his model buildings. But I love it when people can weather and do everything this like truly consistent look for um, for their railroad, where it really everything looks really cohesive. I think it's hard to do that. I find it hard to do that, and I think maybe if I was building a layout in a more compact amount of time, maybe that would be easier for me. But it's my time so far in this layout. Not now. I'm gonna be making some good progress now because I'm dedicated to it. But I've had a busy number of years and haven't been able to get down here and do anything with it. So for the next few years here, I'm gonna be cracking away, and I've already got a lot of the research done for the HO layout that I'm gonna start here at some point, and but I don't have any of the physical track plans yet drawn up, but I have a real good idea of where I'm gonna go with that. But ultimately, my idea, like anything in YouTube, is hopefully to have the channel kind of finance that layout, which would be, again, none of us do YouTube for the money, but if you do YouTube to finance the hobby, that's awesome. That's what I'm doing it down the stretch. But some of these 3D prints, man, 3D prints is one of those things that when you're back in the hobby has changed the hobby. I mean, that's a skid steer, dude. That is a 3D printed skid steer. Too new for my layout, but I'm probably gonna paint it. There's another YouTuber who I watch who is really into equipment, and he runs a mine railroad. So if I get this thing painted up nice, I will probably just send it to him. Very, very cool. Very cool. And recently, I've done all of my weathering. Like this car was weathered completely with India ink and some acrylic brush paint and uh, some pan pastels. Right, this was done with basically that. But now recently, and when I say recently, I mean like very recently, I picked up an airbrush. So I did a video on that. Um, and some airbrushing on the layout for the first time yesterday that we'll see if I got enough to do a video on. It's kind of hard to, really record a video while you're working up on the layout. So it's that's what I have there. So I airbrushed some clouds. Clouds have been a backdrop in clouds have been a struggle for me. It's been kind of tough. So it's been kind of tough. Ba-ba. What else we got going on here? The weathering is definitely an art form. I might have lost my second camera here. We'll see. There, man. Working on the technical difficulties. Airbrush. Airbrush is a game changer. Can be a game changer. It's get this other baby back up here. Can definitely be a game changer. It's another skill to learn though. It's definitely another skill to learn. And thinning paint is a skill, not just using the airbrush. It's learning how to, you know, what paints you work well with, what paints are, don't airbrush well. I've used some Tamiya. Let me bang my second cap on here real quick. And I've used some Tamiya here. So these Tamiya acrylics I've used quite a bit. And so these seem to airbrush well. I did my clouds with those. However, a lot of the paint I use that I've been hand brushing models with is these Vallejo acrylics, and I got hooked on these because Hobby Lobby sells them, and Hobby Lobby sells them cheap, and they're good paint. Don't get me wrong, uh, but the model color stuff is kind of thick, um, so it's got to be thin. And when I did my first airbrush demonstration, I was just like, bang, never airbrushed before. Pulled it out of the box, started airbrushing. I clearly didn't get this thinned out enough. Um, And when it comes to thinning, whether you're weathering or how much you want to build up, it really depends on how you want to make that paint. I had no idea, necessarily getting into it. Like you see people airbrushing here and talk about thinning. I had no idea that getting into the airbrushing, that thinning was such a science of airbrushing. It is. And I've been watching some videos, lately, and I did my clouds with this Tamiya white, and I put just like a dab of gray in the Tamiya white, and then I thinned it out like 10 to 1. So, and then that gave me a decent, mix to spray on and be able to go over, and I really had to layer stuff up. Um, so the thinning was quite a bit, but then um, I ordered some of these. These are Vallejo Model Airs, and these you're supposed to be able to airbrush with right out of the bottle. So we will see how that works. Um, I got this pack here on Amazon that I will probably do a video on, and this is old and new wood effects. Mostly because I have this lumber yard that I'm doing, and as you'll see coming up in the video this week, I've got a bunch of 3D prints of lumber here that I have to paint and make look like new wood. I've also got some stacks of dimensional lumber here. So I'm going to get that going, try and make that look like new wood. And, we'll see how it goes. In the past, I would have hand painted all this stuff. Do I think it looks better sprayed? It certainly does. You need a little more time to come down here and spray something. You kind of do. You have to prep your paint. I mean, you have to prep your modeling as you always do anyway. But then you have to, prep your paint, get it thin, get it mixed, get it in the airbrush. Airbrush whatever it is that you're going to airbrush, and then you need to clean that airbrush. So, and that's just like the science that's going into like mixing the paint. Like I had no idea that there was going to be that much stuff involved there. But so not only that, but the using the airbrush is a whole other thing. First couple of times I used this airbrush, it was clogging up on me real quick, and I probably need to do like a video on a few tips of first time airbrush using, because one of the things I learned almost immediately is when I have this double action airbrush, right? So basically you push down on this lever and that starts the air, and then as you pull back on that needle, that starts the paint mix. So essentially what I was doing was I was pushing down on the lever and coming back to mix the paint, and then when I was done painting, I just let up and everything stopped. All right, so what that does is that leaves a bunch of paint on the needle in the end, right? So the right thing to do, what I've learned now, is to come on air, come back, paint, get whatever paint application you need, and then go all the way forward and let the air go again with no paint, and that will clean the air off the needle. And I'm not saying it won't get gummed up, but it lasts a lot. Like you don't have to take nearly as many breaks as you do as I did before. Like I was stopping every few minutes to clean this damn needle off. Depending on the airbrush, there's different tips. Find me. Yep, there certainly are. There's all kinds of different tips depending on the airbrush. And don't ask me what I got. I got this is the Zenny airbrush, and this whole thing I think was $32 on Amazon, on Amazon's. So I have no idea what's in here. I know that when I pack this nozzle right now, it's spraying and it's spraying paint, and it's looking pretty good. Will I upgrade this? More than likely, I'm going to upgrade this stuff because the compressor is really not that great. It's just enough to get air through here. It's not enough to dial up. Like with some of these paints, you need to be up around 30 psi, and I got new spray. There's no way this thing is pushing. This thing is probably pushing 15 psi. So it's again, it's good for what it is, but it is what it is. Good for what it is, but it is what it is. And but first one, getting me into it, seeing if I gonna like it enough to actually use it. And, I think I will. I mean, it's not a pache, as they would say, but it's you know, it's all right. I will probably actually upgrade the compressor before I upgrade the airbrush, because I think the compressor is probably a bigger problem than anything. Uh, yeah, so pretty neat though. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. I've only airbrushed a few things, and I'm not getting into airbrush weathering yet. You know, so I'm just not there. Maybe I will be. I have some old cars hanging out back here, so some old old N scale stuff that I picked up at shows like years ago. So maybe, just maybe, you can actually see the stuff that are on this camera when you can on the other camera. This is what I was talking about here. That's the good side of the engine. Yeah, you flip this baby over, you can barely read the numbers on that side of the engine. I think it probably looks better on camera than it does in person. Um, so, and some things are funny like that. Like there are just things that when they translate the camera, they look much different than they look like when you're holding them in your hand. So very, 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 very different. Like I've got this backdrop. It really doesn't look that, say it doesn't look that terrible when you're standing in front of it. Because at the time when I built the backdrop, all I had was this really all I could get was this really thin sheet styrene. So I basically spray adhesive that to spray adhesive it to a wooden frame that I built, a primed wooden frame that I built, and for the most part, it's fine everywhere except for this one section. I can't fix it. It's just bumpy along where the adhesive would be, and I don't know. I've tried to inject plastic cement in there, crazy glue. I've clamped it, I've taped it, I've done all kinds of stuff up there, and nothing fixes this thing. But honestly, in person, it doesn't look amazing, but it doesn't look terrible. But when you film it, oh god, it looks does not look good. Does not look good. Um, yeah, so that's my venture into airbrushing. But again, we'll see how it goes. I haven't done any buildings yet. I've been modeling, so many years. I've got all these techniques that I'm comfortable with painting buildings, and it's like, do I want to now start learning how to airbrush? I don't necessarily maybe a little bit. Um, yeah, maybe a little bit. I do use some rattle can primer though. One thing that I think is going to be cool about the airbrush is I did pick up some of this dull coat, and that we're probably not going to see too well. But this is to be a X21 dull coat. This is there. So this X21 dull coat, and I picked this up because one of the things about airbrushing or about using dull coat, especially the tester's dull coat, is it comes out of the can at such a high velocity that it, especially when you're weathering in pastels, which I really enjoy weathering in pastels. Um, Sometimes you have to go over stuff again, and it's a pain in the butt. But with airbrushing it on, I can really start to control maybe the amount of air that is going out of there. And hopefully that'll disturb the pastels less and be able to preserve more of that work as you seal it in. It's definitely the downside of working. I mean, the upside of working with pastels, you make a mistake before you seal it in, you could just hit that car with alcohol, and just about everything comes off. But the downside of working with pastels is, when if you don't seal it, you basically you can't handle the cars at all. There'll be pastels everywhere, and you'll get fingerprints every car. It's terrible. So you have to seal it, and when you seal it, you kind of lose some of the effect. Um, so kind of where that's at. What else you got here for questions? Help me out. Got a couple of you watching now. Not bad. First live on a Sunday morning. Like I said, I didn't have high expectations, but I wanted to fire it up, see how it went here. And really, it's not too bad. I'm using different software than we used on Backers and Brews Circle channel, and hence the watermark up there. But very cool nonetheless. I wanted to make sure that this audio is muted. All right, on that camera. Not sure if that makes a difference or not. But I'm glad the audio sounds good. I gotta tell you, Rudy, if you're gonna get into the hobby, you gotta get back into it, buddy. Someday is not a day of the week. Someday is not a day of the week. I guess maybe we'll do is we'll give it a little bit more time here. See if anybody else joins on, and see if anybody's got any other questions. Nice, thanks, man. Well, you you of all people know, not my first rodeo on YouTube. A lot of the model railroad people probably don't know that, um, but I know you know. I think we started back was in 2018, maybe. Yeah, I want to say the first Baggers and Brews videos sometime in 20. Yeah, I think so. Yep, and you know, it's a good channel. It's still a good channel. I enjoy it. Still watch Bert heading to rallies, but everybody's life takes some different angles at times. And when you start a YouTube channel, like when we started Baggers, we bought equipment. We had some equipment, and then you hate to buy that stuff because one, it's expensive, and two, it's a lot of it. If you take care of it, does last a long time. But when I started this baby out, I had the opportunity to buy these little mics, and these things are pretty cool. And they sit in this case, and they charge, and it's got a USB, and it connects right into my computer, connects right into the DSLR that I use to film most everything. It'll also connect uh, right into my iPhone now. So, long story short, I put my phone on the back of the truck when I went to go fill up a couple of gas cans, and fell off the 206 several times by a lot of vehicles. So I wound up with this new iPhone. I got this little iPhone Air, which is what I'm using as my second camera. So I gotta tell you, this thing for an iPhone camera, this thing is pretty. It's pretty bright. I mean, it looks real good. So yeah, these are 51 Chevys. These are this guy. Give me stuff. I built a 125 mile last winter in my first car and had to relearn. It was like, yeah, yeah, dude. It's like anything. I mean, it's all gonna come back. Um, it's definitely all gonna come back. However, it's there's so many different products out than there were 30 years ago. Like when we were kids building models, you were basically, you were I mean, this is the wood glue version of it, but you were basically like testers. These testers tube glues were what you were using, and it was, or you were using crazy glue, which sometimes, now crazy glue is come, I think, actually gotten a little bit better. Um, but mostly my glue now, I'm using this stuff, dude. This is Bondene and by Plastruck, and Bondene can be kind of hard to get. So Micromark has been making its own. I actually haven't used this Micromark one yet, so it's been making its own brand here. It's this is like cement. It melts the plastics together. It is absolutely insane. I put it on with a little brush. It, it's amazing, and I will tell you the big difference between that and if you use testers on an old model, eventually that kind of like dries, yellows, cracks, and all fall. Like there's no fix. When you use plastic weld, it stays together. It really stays together. So it's uh, it's pretty cool. And on top of that, one thing that we never had, now we have other types of glues. I did a whole video on the glue stuff too, is this clear plastics, which doesn't fog up your windows. Um, thing goes on the car. Uh, yeah, yeah. The 3D printing, I got to tell you, the 3D printing has changed. It's changed the hobby, man. It's changing the hobby, and it's not done changing the hobby. It really isn't. I mean, people are. There's no boundary to it really at this point. This printing is so good. I mean, when you look at these, 51 Chevys here, it's it is so good. I mean, these are steak size. Like, look at the definition and how thin these beds are, and on the inside, they have, steering wheels and the bench seats in there. This is just, it is just insane how good this is. And, if I can crack these, I can't really. I'm gonna have to get a knife to score that. But it's insane, like, how good the detail is. Now, that being said, this print has interior details, no windshield. So, I'm gonna have to put a windshield in that baby. I have some stuff from Micromark in my Amazon cart that I just placed there to probably put some glass in here, but, we'll see how that actually goes. And, yeah. Yeah, we'll get there. But it's insane, how good some of these 3D prints have gotten. Even this building here. So this building is, it's supposed to be the office for this thing called Sam Stone, which is all gonna be in this video that's gonna come out on Tuesday. But I mean, dude, the electrical box is on the side of the building. Come on, nice ribs, all scale, ribs in the siding here, which there you can see it. I mean, maybe the door handle's a little out of scale, a little big, but for the most part, I mean, that electrical box is in scale, windows are windows. So I have to cut this baby out of this, um, out of these struts here, and probably what I do is he left some framing there in the windows. He built that into his 3D print. What I may do, and it's a little flat, and I understand why it's that way because that's how, 3D prints are sometimes. I'm probably gonna put some wood here and wood frame these windows. They're a little small, but it should work out pretty well. Um, yeah, it should really it should work out pretty well. It's, yeah, it's crazy, and then even these '57 Chevy pickups, the Chevy pickup now, I don't even know, I'm probably gonna be better off showing this to you on this camera here. You can see how thin he made the tailgate. So the tailgate is actually to scale. It's really cool. Um, yeah, really, really cool. So, pretty neat. Those Fords had those, like, flares that came up over the sides here on the beds. He's got that worked in. I mean, it's pretty neat. Um, license plate bracket on the back that I it's actually license plate bracket's crazy. Um, this license plate bracket is, like, right here up, just above my Exacto, and so, again, dude, I've gotta be careful that I don't cut that off. That is so delicate and so close to the model. Um, it's got taillights. It's crazy, crazy. All done with resin 3D print. And I have a 3D printer here, but I haven't used it yet because there's obviously a lot more to it than just plugging in something and just 3D printing. So, but even these look really good. Cleaning some of this excess resin out of here before I paint these. I'm going to give them a little wash off, soap and water. They've got resin. I mean, they're cured and all that, but I just want to give them a little wash off and soap and water. And I mean, that's a lumber stack, dude. It's crazy to see the detail on that baby. Um, and then this is the lumber rack that it comes to fit on. So you're essentially just gonna build a piece of this lumber rack out, and that'll all gonna help me finish my Milford Cohen lumber there. So it's gonna look really good. And that's where 3D printing is really excelled hobby in these details. Um, I mean, people have been inventive in making stuff for years, but I feel like in N scale, people have always been an issue. Some of these small details have always been an issue. Um, N scalers have been building stuff at a tiny piece of styrene for years. If you want something, you're gonna build it. And kind of just how it's been. So yeah, so looks good. Ba-ba. There we go. Well, yep, rounding up just under an hour here. So thank you, Rudy, for hanging out, tuning in for about an hour. All right. Stacy just got home, so I'm gonna go see what she is up to. And we have this nor'easter rolling through here, so make sure everything is nice and charged. And very cool. Cool thing is unique, not coming from. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You're exactly right. Just like the Harleys, right? We all customize bikes with the same parts. It is the cool thing, dude. This stuff is, finding stuff, and that's why I like to go to train shows. Finding stuff that is unique to build stuff is really really cool. And I thought I had something else here too, but maybe not. But it's that's all part of the hobby, honestly. Um, all part of the hobby, and I think 3D this 3D printing stuff looks so much better than the injection molded stuff that we've been so accustomed to over the years. So, yeah, Rudy, thanks for hanging out with me. I will catch you soon, and look out this Tuesday for the next video. All right. Awesome. Thanks, buddy.